everyone. We're back at Up to Something. This is our segment we call Seriously. My name is Peg Mansfield, and I've got a few friends with me here today from Guilford, some young adults. I'll introduce them to you right now. We have Faith.
Hi.
Grace.
Hi.
Caroline.
Hey.
Nick.
Hello.
And George.
Hello.
If you're wondering why we look a little silly here, we just finished shooting our holiday segment. We hope you enjoy it. But we decided to have a little impromptu segment called Seriously, with a question mark. Seriously? This is our open forum where we allow young adults in the Shoreline area to come here and just talk about whatever's bugging them, whatever on their mind, maybe just whatever's in the news. And today we got to discussing a little bit about what's been going on that's concerning to teens in this area and all over the country, in fact. There are some serious issues in the news that we feel that kids need to talk about. We need to get an open dialogue. So first I want to let everyone, before they bust, explain that there was a ruckus on our green 2 days ago, the day before Halloween, and it concerned a bunch of middle school kids, a whole bunch of middle school kids, with nothing to do, just hanging out on the green, horsing around, and someone approached quite a few of them. The man turned out to be someone that was not from Guilford, and he was intimidating the kids, and he was harassing them, and he even put his hands on one of them, and everyone got really, really upset, and a lot of the kids got scared because he also said that he had a bomb, and then he threatened that he had a gun. Turned out he didn't have either of those things, but the kids were really bummed out about it. They were, really upset about it. So I'd like to just open the dialogue for a few minutes to talk about, first of all, two of the kids were there on the green at the time, and they were in a store and they were scared. So Grace, you want to just tell everybody how you felt when you first, whatever it was that first happened?
Well, Faith and I, we were in the Guilford Food Center, and these kids that we knew ran inside and told the lady at the counter to call the cops. Take it away, Faith.
We just thought that was one of their antics, so we were just like, why are they here? And then 5 other kids just came in. They're just like, you need to call the cops. There's a guy at the green, and he's harassing kids and calling them names and stuff. So we were freaking out, and we were just there to get drinks, and we were just really scared, and we just stayed there. And then Grace's brother came and got us, but he was gone by then, and he's arrested, so it's all good now.
Okay, well, it was pretty scary when it happened. Now, Nick, you and George weren't anywhere around, were you?
No.
Okay, well, maybe you, being older kids here today, can just comment a little bit about what you would do if you were in a situation where somebody you totally didn't know was coming up to you and saying things that were making you a little awkward or upset or even just a little bit nervous. Tell everybody what you would do if you were there. And do you think, the kids called the cops, so is that what you have done? Talk about it.
Yeah, honestly, if I was in a situation similar to that, I would have called the cops, mainly because you never know what a person's holding on them. There might be a gun or something dangerous, so it's best to stay away and just let the authorities handle it.
Yeah, I think the kids did the right thing in that situation. The first thing is to get out of there and go to a place where there's a lot of people so you feel like you are protected, and then you need to call the cops and let them know that something is going on.
Okay, well, that's kind of, really what had happened. There were so many kids on the green, and it was very confusing because everyone started getting on their cell phones and instant messaging everyone. But primarily that's what I instructed Grace when she called me, was to stay in a store. Go in a store or go to a business where you're safe. And if you feel like you're in any danger at all, you go to someone, an adult that you feel you can trust. Did you want to say something else, Faith?
Yeah, he also said that he was going to take a picture of everybody and he was going to kill everybody too. So,
wow, so that made you...
Yeah, me and Grace were terrified. We were we felt like we were just we couldn't get out of there. We were really scared.
That's what you heard the boys say when they went to the store?
No, we just heard that over time. Two of our friends were there, and they said that he said that. So.
Well, what would you do if you found out that there was a strange person that asking to take pictures of you on the green when you're hanging out with your friends?
I would just run. I wouldn't I would keep my back turned to him so he couldn't see my face.
Okay. Well, Faith
Yeah.
just gave you the right answer. So if that ever happens to you, please just get away from that person. Okay, so that's pretty much settled. There were some really, really serious things that were on the news. Last time we were together, we were talking about cyberbullying. We had a conversation about cell phone and texting and instant messaging and social networks. And some of the kids talked about social networks you can go on and you can talk about people anonymously. And I found out a little bit more about them, and there apparently are quite a few that are popular in the middle school. I don't know about the high school. Are you aware of any? Nick?
There's I don't know the names of them, but I know there is one.
Do you
big
guys
one.
get involved with any of that?
No.
Okay. Tell the kids that are younger than you, why do you choose not to get involved with that?
Well, first of all, there's obviously if you get involved, then obviously the cyberbullying will go to you too. So it's better to stay off social networking as much as possible. Only to sometimes I go on there to ask about homework and talk to my friends, but otherwise I try to stay away so that there aren't any situations where that could occur that would hurt me or any of my friends.
Okay, well that's really important. One of the stories that was in the news was, and it was just bizarre because we had just been talking about cyberbullying, is that a girl was being cyberbullied and she ended up committing suicide, which is, I think, one of the greatest tragedies that we can possibly experience in our time, because there is help. There is help. First of all, maybe we can find out from some of the kids here as to how it feels and what they would do if somebody was cyberbullying them. But let me make sure that you understand that there's always help. You are never alone and you should never be scared. That the first thing you need to do is talk to a grown-up. Talk to somebody you know and trust. And if you feel awkward talking to a parent, talk to an older sibling, get to a guidance counselor or a teacher. And you're never going to get in trouble for opening up and talking about stuff that's bothering you. Even if you're involved with the social networking and the gossiping that's going on back and forth, it's just so much more important that you tell someone that someone is hurting you or harassing you through social network. Grace, can you tell everyone at home what you would do if you were involved in social networking and you started to notice that people were saying mean things about you?
Well, I would tell my parents. I would block the person.
Wait, what does that mean, block the person?
Well, on most social networks, they have a thing that you can block people, and it makes sure that they can't access you in any way
Yeah, they
on
can't,
that
go
social
on your
network.
account. They can't go on your account, but you
Like
can just look at theirs, but
Yeah.
you don't do anything to it. They can't go on your account and do anything about
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so that's one
Yeah.
solution. So the first one is you talk to your parents.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the best one, but sometimes it's awkward to talk to your parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my Anyway, so if you feel embarrassed or ashamed, or maybe they're talking about something that you're not ready for your parents to know about yet, and it's just a little, you're scared or you're nervous or you're just embarrassed. So where would you go next? How about you, Caroline? What would you do next if you didn't feel comfortable talking to your parents? You can block a person, but then there's the hallways. So if somebody was bullying you, there's a couple different ways they can get to you.
I would just tell a teacher or an oldest sibling or whatever. I'm yeah.
Okay, well that's good. And general consensus, Faith, would you do the
Yeah,
same?
but if I wasn't comfortable talking to any of them, we have most schools has a counselor that they can talk to, and if they don't feel comfortable with them, there's tons of therapists out in the world that you can go to.
In school, do you have open access to counseling?
Yeah.
In the middle school? How about in the high school, guys? If something's bugging, can you just walk into an office any day, anytime, and say, you know what, I've got a problem?
The problem with that is that you have to end up setting the appointment before you do get to talk to your counselor,
Wow. Okay.
which is kind of a downside to it. But at the same point, in my opinion, I don't think the school does enough to prevent things like that from happening.
I'm really glad you say that, and it takes a lot of courage to say something like that, especially because everybody needs to know about it. I did not know what you just told me. I assumed you were going to say, sure, we can walk into a guidance counselor office anytime. George, do you think that the school is doing enough to help when people have problems?
Well, there's only so much the school can do because a lot of bullying happens on the internet where even the school cannot control that part. So there have been like a few assemblies and there's a few clubs that address the same matter, but I don't think there's much the school can do for cyberbullying, at least.
That's too bad. I think that if this message can get out to anyone in the system out there, I think that brings up a good point. Maybe we can look into fixing the fact that there should be maybe one door in every school that's always open to hear if somebody is being hurt or bullied or harassed. But on the other side of the coin, we also have another issue to address, mental anguish. It's sort of a temporary mental illness. Anguish is a word that means you're suffering emotionally. Now, recently in the news, there was an incident where a 14-year-old boy shot and killed his teacher and then killed himself. Now, this is a really serious subject, so I don't even like to bring it up, but this is a forum so that we can air out our opinions. Now, the middle school and the high school students, one of the reasons why we started doing this show is because there had been some tragedies in the news and they really didn't feel safe, and a lot of the kids wanted to talk about it, but the schools, the teachers and everyone just kept reminding them that they were safe, but they really wanted to talk about it. Now, I have to open that dialogue right now about what a person who's upset or disturbed in some way, what they could do or what they should do if they get to the point where they feel like they want to hurt someone, like a teacher or other students. I'm just going to open that up to anybody that's got anything to say about that.
Well, I think that they should, if they feel like they want to hurt somebody, they should try to hold it back as much as they can. If that doesn't work, then they should try to get, help from, somebody that they know will help them. And even if they don't feel comfortable with that, they should, because if something like the little boy shooting himself and the teacher, if that happens again, it's not okay.
Do you think anybody know why something like that might happen? Nick, I really, you're one of the older kids here, so you've seen your friends maybe suffer through breakups or whatever's going on in their life. Can you maybe shed a little light on how something like that could go from a normal kid that's everybody's pal and everybody's friend? They always say, "Oh, we never expected that out of that person." You never see it coming. It's always somebody that just you never see it coming, or they're shy. So do you want to help us understand how a person can go from being okay to not being okay?
Unfortunately, I really can't help because most of the time it's just a split decision and you don't know, you're just in the heat of the moment and you don't understand what's going on. And I feel like that's something that no one's ever gonna really be able to fully understand.
How does everybody here feel when you hear something on the news like a 14-year-old boy shot and killed his 23-year-old teacher? You guys have to talk about that because I think it's important.
I kind of just want to start crying because I feel really bad for them, and I don't know what to do really.
Okay.
So I just kind of sit there.
George, you got anything?
Well, I would feel kind of bad, mostly because I'm in the same situation. I'm close to that age too, so that thing could really happen to anyone. It's the difference between someone having a really good day or someone just having a bad day and making that split decision because they really don't have anyone to talk to about the matter, because you can never tell if someone's dying inside or not. You need to actually talk to them. So I think people, if they have something to say, they should tell their friends or the counselor or their parents or whoever they feel comfortable talking to, because I know it's hard to bring out emotions to someone that you don't feel comfortable with.
I get it. Here's a word I'm going to wrap this up with: awareness. What we find is that signs appear in the person's behavior leading up to a tragedy. They say things maybe to their friends, to their family, that are out of the ordinary or dark or a little scary. And a lot of times friends will just pass it off as, oh, you know, so-and-so's just being depressed again or whatever. I guess what I'm asking all of us here right now, and all of you at home, parents and students, is to be aware. Be aware of your friends, the people you hang out with. Listen to each other. I know it's a cyber world and we're always tapping on those cell phones, but what I'm asking you to do is put them down once in a while and really just talk to each other. Open up a dialogue between all of your friends, and if somebody notices somebody's acting out of the ordinary, instead of talking about them or gossiping, support them. Get together with a bunch of people and talk to them. And I don't know, how do you feel about that, guys? Do you think that that would be a good solution?
Yeah.
Well, I think like when you pass people by in the hall, like you notice someone, you know, a hi or like something comforting, like how's your day going, or anything to open up a conversation with that person would be helpful, because like a simple hello might be the thin line between death or life, you know.
Wow, okay, so you can change someone's life by
Yeah.
just simple kindness.
Even if you don't know them, it's just, you know, we're all people in the end. We all share emotions sometimes, so it's great to spread like love around the air, I guess.
Oh, wow, that's, hey, come on, George, give it up for George on that one. George is an awesome person. I'm glad you guys are all here today. And I am very, very pleased to announce that Seriously is a segment in our show called Up to Something. And Up to Something is a unique variety show that we record weekly. We are looking for actors, announcers, people to go out and do news stories, current events. We have a trend segment. We have a fitness segment. We're still looking for someone to run that. We also need crew, people that are great with computers, editing, and we need someone to manage our social networking, our blogging, and our website. So we would hope that you would follow the directions that will be on our screen at the end of this segment and get in touch with us and be a part of the fun. Now, we have to talk about serious things here today, and we did come to a great conclusion. It's all about being kind to each other. We have to be serious sometimes, but not always. We here at Up to Something want to wish you a Happy New Year, health and happiness in 2014. What do we say, gang?
Happy holidays!
Wait a minute. One more time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! Just, you know, we're all people in the end. We all share emotions sometimes, so it's great to spread like love around the air.